Hi, you guys. Welcome to Real Talk Tuesdays.
So, Real Talk Tuesdays is something that we came up with as a way to talk about hard topics that, maybe people shy away from. And so, whether you're married, single, in a relationship, or just really just trying to work on you internally, Real Talk Tuesdays will be the place that we'll be doing that for. So, if you have any topic suggestions, let us know in the comments down below. Also, we'll be asking on Facebook and Instagram of whatever topics you guys want to hear. We just want to be able to talk about real things. So that's why we came up with Real Talk Tuesday. And we are your hosts.
I'm Darren.
And I'm Shirley. Before we get started, make sure you guys subscribe and also comment down below some topics we should talk about. So the topic that we have today is the biggest struggles that we both experienced with getting married. So struggles that maybe we didn't have necessarily before we were married that we had to overcome / still overcoming now that we are married. You want to go first, Mike?
No, I think you should go first. You go ahead and you go first.
Okay, so
Ladies first.
for me personally, I think the biggest thing for me to overcome, which I feel like I maybe didn't realize it up until probably this quarantine, is I had to overcome things about myself. So like, I feel like it wasn't until I got with Darren that I really started to get to know myself. It's weird to say that, but sometimes we like live our lives and we're just living it, but we're not really getting to like know ourselves and know our feelings. And now that like I'm married, it's like I can't be the wife that my husband needs, the support that he needs, unless I deal with my emotions internally first to be able to, be the spouse that he deserves, even to submit to him. I know sometimes a lot of women these days, they look at submitting like, I'm not going to submit to a man, but as a wife, you're supposed to submit to your husband. And so I feel like my biggest struggle personally was me, dealing with my inner self, and realizing I have to realize stuff about myself. I can't point out something about Darren and I have like 10 other things wrong with me, I feel like when we got married, I just started to find out more stuff about me. Is that like weird? Like,
No.
You know what I mean? Like I just started to find out more stuff about myself that maybe I just didn't even know. And another thing too, that was like my number one. Another struggle that I felt like is seeing that like having somebody be completely like raised differently from you. Like that was like an eye opener for me. Of course we all know that we're all raised differently, but it's not till I was like married that I realized that some of the stuff that I thought was normal isn't normal to Darren. And some of the stuff he thinks is normal isn't normal to me. So I feel like we had to kind of merge. Honey's over here. We had to kind of like merge both of our like normals and like come up with something that would work for both of us. Maybe if it doesn't work for other people or it's completely different from both of how our families did it, we had to find stuff that like, like merge together as one.
Yeah, I say probably one of the hardest things being married, from single is you got to develop a lot of patience, like a lot of patience. And I feel like with me, like I probably had limited patience, but like being married, I feel like my patience has grew a lot. As far as the little things that like may bother me, like now I have to learn to like, okay, maybe the little things that bother me don't really bother Shirley. So now I have to like reevaluate and be like, okay, well, maybe this is not really a big deal. Maybe it was to me because I didn't have nobody else to, make it, a big deal. So, or not a big deal, but yeah. So, what else would you say?
Yeah, but that goes back to like kind of like what I was saying about how like things that you kind of notice about yourself because.
Yeah.
Like before you probably didn't notice like this thing annoyed you or whatever the case may be, but now that you're with that person. And also I feel like another struggle that I feel like we had from going from being single to married is like having that responsibility of someone else.
Yeah, like having to take care of that other person, like not worrying about yourself, or just understanding that, hey, I gotta take care of my other significant other. Like, when you make those vows, you have to, understand, like, hey, you vowed to take care of this person, you vowed to, be there for that person sick, or whatever the case may be. So I guess that's something big to overcome. But you know, as you grow into that relationship and you be before you getting married, and you know, like y'all, you know, talking and discussing and going through things, and when it goes to the point to where y'all decide to get married, it kind of gets you ready because you already went through it before you know got married. So now you understand, okay, now this is for real. Now I really have to take care of it. So yeah, that's probably the responsibility is probably big.
I agree with you, and not even just like financially. It's like financially, physically, mentally, because I feel like as a marriage, I feel like me and Darren maybe a little bit different like than other people's marriages, so I can only speak for us. But like, if let's say I can't work, Darren's gonna take on the whole load, and he's gonna take it on. He's gonna do what he has to do. Let's say he can't work, I'm gonna take on the whole load, and I'm gonna do what I have to do. And I feel like us finding a good balance, I feel like that's something that we're really strong on, is that if the other person can't do something, or if the other person is down, then we'll like pick up that slack. Even like emotionally, let's say like last week I was just going through it, you know, girls, right before it's that time of the month, like you feel every emotion, like, and it's like I was going through it, I was giving Darren it like really, really bad, and like I didn't tell you this, babe, but like you really handled it well. Like for what I was doing, now that I look back on it, like I feel like you handled that really, you know, you handled that really, really well. I forget where I was even going with that.
I feel like when you marry, like get rid of stigmas, like
yeah,
hey, like you're the man, I'm the woman, like you need to do this. You the man, you supposed to take care of the household, you know, you're supposed to do this and do that. You're the woman, you're supposed to come home, cook, clean. I mean, that's the way we grew up to raise, and of course, like, you know, I'm still going to take care of my family regardless. Like, you know, this is the way I was raised regardless. Like, you know, I was raised in a home where, you know, my dad and my mom, you know, they were together and married. My dad took care of the household, you know, my mom took care of the other things as far as to do with us kids. But so, you know, seeing that growing up, I feel like helped me also. And you know, the way I grew up is different from the way Shirley grew up. So when you bring someone that grew up in a household, you know, with a big family, you know, mom and dad, versus, you know, Shirley's situation,
just pretty much me, my mom, and my sister.
You know, it's kind of like you bringing these people together, and some things that are important to me may not be important to Shirley. So, you know, it takes some getting used to, like,
absolutely.
And it goes back to patience. Like, you have to have patience, really and truly, because like, I know, like, you might like get upset, but like, I mean, don't get upset. Like, try to, I mean, you're gonna get upset, but try to, you know, work it out, come to, you know, some type of compromise. I mean, we're still compromising.
Yeah, I feel like honestly, this quarantine has really like helped our relationship, and has helped me internally too, because we're able to like figure out, why are we even arguing? Like, I think about it like this. Like, I told Darren this the other day. I'm like, if we literally are mad at each other for a day, and the other person, God forbid, passes away, like, do you really want that last memory to be like you were so mad at this person that you didn't even talk to them? And so, like, when you think about it like that, it's like any issue that you have, you're gonna be like, no, like, that's, no issue is worth that. So we're really working on like communication. And I know people say communication, but communication is actually talking about your feelings. And I feel like for Darren, for me, it's not so hard, but for Darren, I know it's harder, but he's really working on that, talking about his feelings more. And I feel like if you can get that within yourself and within your partner, actually talk about your feelings, even if you feel like their feelings might be invalid. Like, I know Darren probably thinks that I'm crazy sometimes and I'm like an emotional wreck, but just the fact that he'll just sit there and like let me get it out, sometimes all you have to do is just get it out. Like, that's really what it is.
Yeah, like the difference between us is like, so, you know, when we have like an argument or an issue, right, Shirley wants to talk about it right then and there. Like, not me, like, I need some time, like, give me like, I'll be like, give me a day, but you know, necessarily do I really need a day? And you know, maybe that's not gonna work for her. So, you know, recently we compromised on, okay, give me an hour or two. Let me, you know, compose myself, let me calm down, like, let me just think about, you know, what we had an argument about, and like, how we could have avoided that argument, or like which way we can work around it. So I mean, I feel like, you know, just compromising and just bringing it down like would help a lot, like, as far as, And don't be afraid, like, to talk about those hard,
Yes.
conversations with your significant. Don't be afraid. Like, if you have something on your mind, let them know. Like, they said I do too. Like, or even if it doesn't have anything to do with relationships, like, if you have a problem with a friend or
Yes.
a family member, like, I feel like now is the time. Like, we getting too old. Like, some of y'all might be young, but I feel like I'm getting too old. So I'm gonna let that person know, like, okay, look, this is what happened. I don't like how it happened, but we need to work on something better.
Yeah, it's like absolutely no reason to bottle things in, because I feel like I've been doing that for so long. Like, it's no reason to bottle things in, because eventually if you keep putting things in or you keep sweeping it under the rug, not talking about it, it's gonna explode. And it's gonna explode to the point to where it's gonna be way bigger than had you just sit down and talk to that person, your spouse, your friend, your parents, your cousin, your brother, sister, whoever it may be. Like, actually sit down and talk to them. So I'm working on that, not even just with Darren, but just period. There's no reason. What's gonna happen if you tell someone how you feel? What's the worst that can happen? They stop talking to you? If they stop talking to you because you told them how you feel, then that ain't the person for you. You know what I mean? Like, you should be able to express your feelings. So I feel like how the best way to overcome the struggles is honestly to talk about it and to figure out some type of compromise. Because like Darren was saying, like, he grew up in a 2-parent household and the roles were different, but it's like you have to come up with the way you do stuff now in your marriage. You know what I mean? Like, I cook a lot, but Darren can also cook too. We don't have to just go after what we think is the ideal form of marriage, because there is no ideal form of marriage. Everyone is still learning. Whether you've been married for 1 year or 20 years, I truly believe that you're still learning about this person, because we all change.
I feel like, and this is not the only, way to explain marriage, but I feel like when you get married, prepare to be uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just basically not uncomfortable like in a bad way, but like, or maybe uncomfortable is the wrong word. Prepare to be challenged. Like, prepare to be challenged every step of the way. All the way into your 80s, like 90s, like, like you've been together for like 20 plus years.
Yes.
Like, you're still gonna be challenged. It's always something that's gonna come up that's gonna, like, challenge you to try to figure out what the problem was, in your relationship. So,
but sometimes, like, some of those challenges are like the challenges can make the relationship just stronger and be just so beautiful. Because I think about how far we've come, and we've come like a really long way, and it's like all of those struggles. Yes, we still have problems. I don't think we're perfect. You're always gonna have problems. Yes, we still have problems, but it's like all of those struggles have really just showed us what works, what doesn't work, and we're like, really just trying. I feel like as long as you love this person, like, I love Darren with all my heart, so I'm gonna do whatever I gotta do to work on our relationship. And so as long as you feel that way too, like, whoever it may be, friend, whoever, you love them with all your heart, so you're gonna do whatever it takes, whether it makes you uncomfortable or a little afraid at times.
I feel like being uncomfortable builds character.
Yeah.
Because it puts you in a situation to where you're gonna tuck tail or run, or you're gonna face it head on.
Yeah.
So I mean, hey, and if you tuck tail and run, then to me you're not building your character. But if you stick it in there and you stay in there even though it's hard, then that builds your character. Like, you didn't overcome some type of resilience. Like, you didn't moved up another level, basically, in my book. Like, as far as being a better person, a better version of yourself. So just to remind you guys what the topic was. What was the topic again?
The topic was the biggest struggle. So I would say the biggest struggles of the marriage is literally just being with each other, getting to know each other. It's just, you're always going to have struggles. You will always have struggles, but the key part of this that like we both want you to get is that
talk about it.
You can overcome it. You can overcome anything.
Like, I guess, like, at the beginning of our relationship where, we had struggles, like, just going back into it, like, I didn't want to talk,
and same for me. I would, like, hold it in till I'm, like, exploding.
Yeah.
And then Darren would be like, why are you exploding? But then we would never really get to the root of it. And I think that's,
for a long, healthy marriage, like, you have to have those uncomfortable moments. So,
yes.
And that's just, that's just how I feel, like, honestly.
But after those uncomfortable moments, like, I feel so good afterwards because I'm like I'm like proud of us that like, oh wow, like, you know, like we're going somewhere, like, you know, like we're growing. I don't want to grow individually, like I want to grow with him and, you know, grow emotionally with him to where I feel like I can tell him anything. Like right now, Darren knows this. I literally tell him any and everything. And like, I'm happy that I can tell him even whenever he doesn't listen. Like that makes me so happy. So if there are any guys out there, sometimes your woman just wants you to listen.
Yeah, that's all.
That's it.
Goddamn DJ with a rubber.